See, we have started Java collections. Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
See, I hope everyone able to hear me. Still hearing echo. Is it fine now?
Live, yeah.
Okay. So everyone, I think we have started Java collections. So I hope we have means discussed array list and linked list of the list interface. So I will show once again. See, here are the list interface, which is having four classes: array list, linked list, vector, stack. All these four are classes available in under the list interface. So here, as per the hierarchy or the collection framework, so the iterable is the parent interface and collections. So collections is the second parent interface for the list, queue, set, three child interfaces. Under each child interface, we have separate classes. So list interface having array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Queue also having DQ, priority queue classes. Same way set having hash set, linked hash set, classes, sorted set, tree set, interfaces. So map is also another interface which is having hash table class, linked hash map class, tree map class. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. As per this hierarchy, list interface having four classes: array list, linked list, vector, stack. So we have discussed yesterday two classes which are array list and linked list. So as we discussed yesterday, these are the methods available under the list interface, like add method, add all method, get method, and so on. So whenever we are importing java.util package in any class, that means we are importing all the methods of the classes or interfaces of collection framework. So after importing the util package, whenever you are writing a class for any collection classes, then you can use the methods add all method and corresponding to the list interface and set interface and queue interface. So add method is used to add a one object into the class. Add all method means we are adding a group of objects starting from the index. And get method means we are retrieving a one object from the class. Remove method means we are removing one object based on the selected index from the class. Here the classes means array list, linked list, vector, stack. So I hope everyone understood yesterday the array list example. High level, I will say. As we all know, we need to create a class, and within the class, we need to define the main method, public static void main, and passing the string type of argument array. So this is the common syntax for main method. Because the JVM will execute the class, that means the lines of code from the main method. What is the first line of code in the main method? Creating the object for the array list class. In the collection framework, when you are creating an object, the syntax should be class name and data type of the objects which you are storing in class. That means string data type. If you give integer double also okay. Based on your requirement, you should give the data type of the object. So class name, data type, object name equal to new operator and class name. So here we should give only open angular bracket, closed angular bracket. No need to give second time the data type because we already given the string data type once in this syntax. So no need to repeat again. If you mention also, it's okay. Okay. So this is how we will create a object for a collection classes. After creating an object, we are using the object reference dot add method. That means using object reference, you're calling the add method. Add method is available under the list interface. Array list is a class under the list interface. Okay, as we all know, as per the hierarchy. See here, list, which is having array list. So all the methods of the list, it will be inherited into array list because this array list is implementing the list interface. And also we have given right import java.util package. That means all the classes methods imported in this class. That's why we are using we are calling add method. So in this example, we have added two string objects. Cricket is one string object, hockey is another string object. So we have added two objects into array list, and then we have added third object basketball at zero index. The syntax is object reference dot add method name passing index number and object. So it is a string type, right? If you see here, string data type. That's why we are passing string value as object. So as per this three objects added into array list, it is added in this array type. See here. At zero index, the first object is basketball. It is stored into array list class. And then second one is cricket. The third string object is hockey. So this way it will store in the array list. So for displaying this array list objects, we need to iterate through these objects using for each loop. So that's why we are using for each loop here, which is enhanced for loop. For the new string object, the string data type, string str is object. We are assigning the array list object into str object. That's why always in for each loop, give the take the new object as a first inside the for each loop, the first object, and colon the object which you want to assign to the new object. So here array list object which is having three string objects, that means three elements which you are assigning into str. So now in the str object we have three string elements because for each loop is iterating from the zero index, right? First it will come to zero index, it will display the basketball, and second cricket, and third one that means zero index, first index, second index. At second index, hockey string value is there. So it will iterate through all the objects inside the array list and it will display because we have given system.out.println of str. So inside str already we assign array list object, right? So inside that we have three elements, string elements. So it will display. The output of this program is the first system.out.println is asking to print array list elements colon. That's why if output is first printed array list elements colon, and then system.out.println of str. So we are iterating using for each loop in this array list class starting from zero index. So first it will print basketball and cricket and hockey. Okay, this is how array list class will work actually. And the next example is linked list. So this is a data structure for the linked list. The memory address, the address or pointer which is linked to the next element. So here also, while writing the program, we need to import the java.util package, and we need to write a class. Within the class, we need to create main method, and within main method, we need to create object for the linked list class. And also we need to mention the data type of the objects which you are storing inside the linked list class. So here also we are storing string objects inside the linked list class. The same way, after creating linked list object, we are calling add method. So object reference dot add method, and we are adding apple string object, orange string object, and also at 0th index we are adding banana string object. So it will store three string objects inside the linked list class. So for iteration purpose, in this linked list example, we are creating object for the iterator interface. In the collection framework, we have iterator interface. So for creating object for the iterator, the syntax is iterator, the data type of the object storing, and iterator object equal to the class. Class name here is linked list. That means this is not a class, sorry, object of the class, instance of a class. Because linked list is a class name, linked list is object name. So we are giving the iterator type of object it equal to the linked list object dot iterator method. So always remember we have iterator method available in iterator interface. Okay. So whatever class we are implementing that interface, so we can utilize that method. So linked list dot, that is object dot iterator. So this is how you can create the object for the iterator interface. After creating iterator object, we are having two methods here. Iterator the object has next method and next method. Here we are using while loop to iterate through objects of the linked list class. So within the while loop, we are using iterator object dot has next method, because iterator object having two methods by default, has next method and next method. Has next method is used to check the object element availability. That means it will return the boolean value. If the object is stored and available, then it will return to true value, boolean value. Then it will go to next step. So next step is system.out.println of iterator object dot next. So if element is available, that means the object stored inside the linked list. So using has next method is checking the object is available in the linked list. If it is returning true value, boolean value, then it will pick the next element using next method. That's why we are calling iterator object dot next method. So always we need to call the methods using the objects, right? That's why we are calling iterator object dot has next method, iterator object dot next method. So this is the way to iterate through linked list class, and it will check at 0th index object stored or not. It is stored. Then it will using the next method, it will pick the banana, and using system.out.println it will print banana as output. And then it will go to first index. Then it will check has next method will check whether object available. Then it will say it will return the boolean value true. Then using next method it will pick the apple, and it will display using system.out.println. So this is how it is printed, three values: banana, apple, orange. So this is the linked list example. I hope everyone understood the collection classes array list and linked list, and the methods. We are using add method here, which is available in the list interface. Array list is a class of list interface. So all the methods of the list interface we can use in array list also. That's why we are using add method. And linked list also class under the list interface. So we can use the methods of the list interface. That's why in the linked list also we have used the add method. Okay. The next class is vector class. We have four classes, right? Under the list interface: array list, linked list, vector, stack. So the third class is vector. Sorry, it's loading. One second. So for the practice purpose, as I mentioned, so please check this. I think everyone having this material. So practice the array list and linked list. First, understand each line by line. What is the array list class name? What is array list object? What is the add method? How you are adding the add method objects using add method? How you are iterating through for each loop? How it is displaying the required output. So understand this, and then go to Eclipse. Create a class under the package. Right click the package name and go select the class. Give some class name. So it's created a class. To save the time, I'm just copy pasting. but everyone please type manually. Don't copy paste. So first step is we need to import the java.util package, which is having all the collection classes and interfaces. After importing only, you can able to use the add method, the array list class, everything. If you are not importing it, it will throw errors. Okay. First, we need to import the util package, which is java.util.star. If you want to use only array list instead of star, you can mention array list only. That means it is importing array list class. So wherever in whichever class you want to import the other classes or interfaces, you can mention directly also instead of star. If you give star, that meaning is all the available classes under util package will be imported in this particular class which you are creating. So after that, as I mentioned, we have defined a class and we have created a main method and we have created lines of code under main method which we want to execute. So JVM, when you are executing this program, JVM will come to main method and it will execute this first line of code. Here it will create the object for the array list class and it is calling add method. Using add method, we are adding three string elements and we are iterating through for each loop and we are printing. So select this way and run as one second, because the class name we have given wrong. Array list this way. If you see here, the output is first is first we are asking system to print system.out.println array list of elements. That's why it is output is first printed array list elements colon. So within the double quotations, whatever value, string value, it will print as it is when you are asking system to print using system.out.println. That's why it is printed the string value. Then using for each loop, you are iterating the array list class. So the three objects is printed: basketball, cricket, hockey. Because why basketball is printed at 0 10x? The first object is basketball, and then it will check cricket, the second object, and third object is hockey. The sequential way it is printed. So this way you need to execute the program in Eclipse IDE. So when you understand the concept right, then you can use all other methods. Sorry. See, I will show you simple array list dot remove. Okay. If you see the method name, right? See here, remove method. We need to pass the index number only. No need to pass the object value. So you need to pass index number. If you execute this program now, see the output. It is printed only two objects: basketball hockey. It is not printed cricket because we have removed the first index object, which is at zero index basketball is stored, at first index cricket object is stored. So I am removing cricket object using this syntax. Object name dot remove method, because I am calling the remove method of array list class using object reference of the array list class. And as per the remove method syntax, I need to pass the index number. So I have passed here first index. That means I am removing the first index object, that is cricket, from the array list. So after executing this line of code, then it will go to for each loop, right? That's why before iteration, we have removed one object. Currently, we have only basketball and hockey. That's why it is printed basketball and hockey. So this way, when you understand the methods usage of each method, then you need to practice this way. Okay, add some 10 objects and use all these methods. Then check whether it's working properly or not. Okay. The same way you need to go to linked list class. We have this example. We should give the same name, right? Class name should be same. We have given, when you are creating a class name as linked list test. So in program also we need to type the same name, linked list test. Then only it will execute the program. You see here, banana, apple, because linked list having three objects, string objects. So banana, apple, orange, it's printed. So you can use other methods to see the output, because we need to understand what is the usage of each method. See here, set method. We are assigning one object at the specified index. So here I will show set example. Set. I didn't. I need to pass the string double quotations. So if you see what set method, we need to pass the, we need to assign one object at the specified index. So I'm adding at one index watermelon. So let's see the output now. See, watermelon is replaced. That means set method is used for the replacing any object inside the linked list. In this example, linked list class, we have replaced apple string object with watermelon. Why apple? I have given the index as 1. So 0 index banana, first index is apple object. So that's why I am replacing watermelon string object with apple string object by using index number. That is the purpose of set method, the linked list class. So this is how you need to understand the method purpose, and you need to practice this way. Okay, then you can get a confidence how to use the methods of the collection classes. So in the interviews, they will ask the any method to explain. They will ask you what is the purpose of add method, add all method, how you will remove the object from the collection classes. That time, if you understand the methods uses, the purpose, so after practice, right, you can able to answer the questions. So I hope everyone understood the importance of practice Java programming. So we are going to next class, vector. See here, this is the vector class under the list interface. So here also we are just importing the Java.util package. We are creating one class, and inside class we are creating main method. Inside that we are writing the lines of code. The first line of code is of creation of object for the vector class. So V is object, vector is a class, string is a data type. So we are creating object for the vector class, and we are storing string objects because we have given string data type. So we are adding the string objects inside the vector. So we have added using object reference dot add method, adding three objects, item 1, item 2, item 3. Then it is stored the same way, array structure, right? The zero index is first element, first index is item 2, second index is item 3. Because the sequential, it will follow the order, right? That's why it is first added the item 1 is stored at zero index, second added item 2 is stored in first index, and then other element. So here if you see, they are removing one object. Which one? Item 2. If you go to remove method, directly by mistake it's deleted. See, this is the purpose. So we need to give the index and so that we can remove the element. So here in this example, directly they have given the object. See here, they haven't given the index, they have given the object. We will see whether it will execute. So I hope it will execute, but we'll see whether it will remove the object or not. So here if you see in this vector also, we are creating the iterator object. This is important. Please remember how to create the iterator object. This is the syntax. Iterator, that means interface name. Object, that means data type of object which you are storing. That means you are iterating. Because IT object is used for the iteration, right? So what kind of objects you are iterating, we need to give the data type. So iterator is an interface name and data type is string. The IT is a iterator object equal to the vector object. The vector class object is V. So V object dot iterator is a method available inside the iterator interface. See here the difference. The name is same iterator, but this is a method because interface is having the methods, right? So iterator interface having the iterator method. So we are creating the object for the iterator interface. We are using the particular class name object. here we are using vector class name object. So vector class object is V, and then we are calling the iterator method. So always whatever class you are using, either array list, linked list, we should give the object of the corresponding class dot iterator method. That means we are calling the iterator method using the object reference. So this is how we need to create the object for the iterator interface. So after creating iterator interface, we need to use for the while loop. This way, the iterator object that has next method. This method will check whether objects are available or not. If it returns the boolean value true, then it will go to the next step. Then it will pick the corresponding object using next method, and it will print using system.out.println. So this is how it is executing. See, once you understand the collection classes, the methods, the data structure, right? Then the programming is very easy because it is almost similar only. Just we are using for iteration purpose for each loop, while loop, and based on the requirement. So if you understand this iteration looping concept, right? Other part is same. We are using the same methods. We are using the way of creation of iterator object is same. So in all the collection classes, if you understand what are the purpose of the methods of the classes in the collection framework. So collections is nothing but it's a group of objects. So we are using collections classes to store the objects, okay, in any Java program. The same way you go to Eclipse and manually write the line of code for this vector class, and manipulate use all these methods like get method, index of method, last index of method, and see whether all the methods of the class working fine. Okay, this is how we can practice. The last example is the stack class. Stack class extends vector class. That means vector is a parent for the stack because it is extending, right? The stack class extends vector class, which means it is a subclass of vector. So stack is a subclass of vector class. So stack works on the concept of last in, first out. I think we all know that in C language also we might have heard about stack concept. That means last in, first out. Whatever object you are inserting at the last, you can uh, remove the object first. That means LIFO concept. So last in, first out. The stack works in the concept of a last in, first out, which we can call LIFO, the concept name. The elements are inserted using push method. See here, we are not using add method. Add method we have used array list class, linked list class, vector class. But stack is a concept which is using last in, first out. So here we are having two methods, push method and pop method for adding the elements, for removing the elements. So push method is for insertion of the objects we will use, and the pop method is we will use for removing the objects from the stack class. If you see here, the example of stack class, in every example, we need to import the java.util package first, and we need to create the class, public class name, and inside the class, we need to create a main method. The syntax same, public static void main always. And then inside the main method, we need to create an object for the stack class. In Java, the same syntax, right? For creating an object for a class means class name, object name equal to new operator, class name. So in this example, stack is a class name. And in collections, while creating an object for a class, we need to mention the data type of the objects which you are storing in the particular class. So in this stack class, we are storing the string objects. That's why we are mentioning string data type. So class name, data type name, object name equal to new operator, class name. Here no need to mention second time the string data type. That's why we are giving empty angular brackets. So this is mandatory. You should give the angular brackets. So this is how we can create a object for the stack class. After creating object, we are calling the push method and pop method. Because we don't have add all method in the stack class. We have push method and pop method. That's why we are calling push method using object reference of stack class. That is stack. That is object name. We are calling using this object reference push method. Push means for the insertion of the objects. What kind of objects? String data type of objects. That's why we are passing the string value, string element. So Chaitanya is a string element, means string object. So we are inserting into the stack using push method. Ajit is another string object. We are inserting inside the stack class using push method. Hari also another string object storing inside the stack class using push method. That means it will work as a add method. Push method, the concept of stack. So the pop method it will use to remove the objects. So stack that. So using push method, we have added some 5 string objects in this example, and we are calling at the end again pop method. We'll see this output how it will print. Create a class. Just I have given name of class is stack test. Stack test. So we should be very careful. If you miss any spelling mistakes also, the program will throw errors. So we need to create a class with proper data, like a proper structure. As I explained, this is how stack class will work. We'll use the push method for adding the objects, for pop method for removing the objects from the stack class. After that, they have used for each loop. For each loop means the enhanced for loop. We'll use for iteration purpose for the stack class. Here, the syntax is first we need to mention the new object. So string type of one new object str, and after that we are why we are creating like this means we are assigning the objects of the stack inside the new object. So first we need to mention the new object colon the stack class object. That meaning is the 5 objects available inside the stack assigned to string object. This is the meaning. So now Chaitanya, Ajit, Hari, Steve call all 5 string objects available in stack object. We are assigning to new object str. So this is the meaning of this for each that means syntax. So while using the for each loop, we will assign all the 5 objects into new object, and so that the for each loop will iterate through all the objects. First, it will come to Chaitanya, and then Ajit, and then Hari, like that. Then it will print using system.out.println. We'll execute this program now. Right click, run as Java application. If you see here, understand this. We have added Chaitanya, Ajit, Steve. Okay. And then we have added Steve and Carl. Okay. That means we are giving stack.pop method after Steve and Carl, right? So that means last object is what? See, here last object is, so we have given two times pop method, right? So we are inserting it. This is a concept of uh, last in first out. 1 second, guys. Sorry if you don't mind. I'm getting a call. Sorry. See, as I mentioned, right, the stack is working as the concept of last in first out, right? LIFO, last in first out, which is the last object we added here, Carl. If you see this example, first we have pushed three string objects, Chaitanya, Ajit, Hari, and then we have called pop method for remove the object. Using stack concept, the last object is Hari. So it is removed Hari. And then after removing Hari, we have Chaitanya Ajit. And then we have added, sorry guys. Sorry for the inconvenience. See here. After removing the Hari object, again we inserted two objects, Steve and Carl. But after Carl, again we are calling pop method. That means we need to remove the last element. Here the last object is Carl. So that is the reason it is printing Chaitanya, Ajit and Steve. because we called pop method two times. After inserting three objects, when we call pop method, it will remove the last object, Hari. That's why Chaitanya Ajit will be available. After that, again we are inserting Steve Carl. After inserting Steve object and Carl object, we having four objects: Chaitanya, Ajit, Steve, Carl. Again, we are calling pop method. That means we are removing the last object using the concept of last in means first in last out. LIFO, last in first out. Last we are adding Carl object. That's why we are removing it. That's why it is printing Chaitanya, Ajit, Steve. Okay. So this is how stack class will work. So I hope everyone understood these four classes. So you need to practice Netclip IDE using all these methods. I have used only add method and remove method and set method, and you just practice all these methods: add method, add all method, get method, index of method. Okay, last index of. See, understand this method definition first, and then use inside the class while practicing Eclipse. So please come up with the questions tomorrow. The first 10 minutes, I'll clarify the questions for these four classes: array list, linked list, vector, and stack. So all these four classes available under the list interface, the list interface. And understand this hierarchy. Everyone having this hierarchy, the material, right? Go through the definitions and understand this hierarchy. What is the parent interface? What are the child interfaces? What are the classes available under each interface? List having three classes, queue having two classes, set interface having some four classes, and map interface having some five classes. So understand this hierarchy, then it will be easy to practice the examples. So I hope everyone understood the concept. So please practice today and tomorrow come up with the questions.
Venkat garu, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, Sirisha, go ahead.
Oh, actually, you are using loop concept on both vector and stack, is it right?
1 second. Sorry. If you are saying vector and stack, right?
Yes, and you defined iteration interface on
Yeah.
vector, but you didn't define here what is the reason.
No.
But both sides, both methods you used the loop concept, is it right?
Yeah.
In
See, we
vector
can
you used a while, and here also you used for.
correct. See, we can use anything, Sirisha, because for each loop we can use based on convenience only. It is not like that we need to use only while loop only for each loop. For this example, they have used iteration method concept for
Uh,
iteration.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we need.
I understand, but my question is,
Mhm.
could you please go for the vector?
1 second. I think we haven't created. We'll go here.
Uh, uh,
Yeah,
yeah, here you define
iterator.
iteration string it
Yeah,
equal to v iterator, but
yeah.
here after that you used while loop, is it right? But
Correct.
in
Because
stack
correct.
you
Why
what stack?
means,
Why?
see, yeah, ask your question first.
Yeah, that is the reason. In vector, you used the iteration string. You called one object from the iteration, but for stack, you didn't call that one. Why?
No, I have used for each loop, right?
Oh, so only while we should when we are using the while,
Either
we have to define
either
that
for each loop
iteration.
or while loop.
Oh,
Because looping concept. See, main thing is we need to understand why we are using looping concept for the iteration. Example, array concept only, right? If array is having some 100 objects, you need to use some looping concept to iterate, then only we can do the operations, right? Then the similar way, the collection framework also have using the concept of for loop, for each loop, while loop. So that's why in these examples they have used in some classes for each loop, in some classes while loop. When you are using while loop, they are creating the iterator interface object, because iterator interface having the iterator method which is used for the iteration purpose, and using has next and next methods we are doing the operations, means finding the object and picking the element. In the example of iterator, in the example of for each loop, you are using array list 3 for each
So,
loop.
okay, that means has next only available in iteration interface, is it right?
Iterator,
Oh,
correct,
is
correct,
it? Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
That is the reason here you
That's
define
why
the
I
iterator.
mentioned
So
yeah,
how do
yeah,
we
that's
know
why I
all the?
mentioned
How do we know these? I mean, has next is I mean belongs to the iteration
then see,
interface.
you see, that's what these are the definitions, right? So we need to understand the concept first. What is the iterator? Iterator is an interface. Interface is having methods, right, in Java.
Yes.
So iterator, this is a method available inside the iterator interface. And after creating object, in the same way, iterator interface having has next method and next method, and we will use these methods for finding the object. For we'll use has next method for picking, getting the elements. We'll use next method. So these first we need to understand what is iterator, what are the methods available inside the iterator. Iterator method, has next method. Then it will be easy.
Oh, okay. Could you please, I mean, show me on Eclipse how do we find these methods in iteration interface?
No, no, not Eclipse, ma. These are the Java concepts, right?
So Java, I mean, so in
Example,
material we can,
in core Java,
okay.
yeah, yeah. In the material, only you have the what is iterator,
What type of
definitions will
method?
have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, if you have any questions, na, please come up with the questions. I'll give the answers if I missed it. First,
So,
we need to understand the definitions. Example, here they have given linked list. What is linked list? What is array list? The same way, we need to understand all the definitions. Then we need to practice the examples. Okay.
okay. Oh, I got it. Thank you.
We should not use two loops in the same example. We can use either for each loop or while loop.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay. Either
I
do
think your
while
question
also we
is
can use it. Is it right?
sorry.
Do while also we can use it.
Amma.
Either do loop
We can
or
use
while
yes,
or
yes.
for loop. Is it right?
See, it depends on your our convenience, because these are like easy, right? While loop,
Oh,
for each loop, no need to write more lines of code.
okay.
Okay, that's why we are using this one. I will show other loops also.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Venkat garu.
Yeah, welcome. So please start going through the concepts using the material and understand it and practice. So tomorrow we will discuss first 10 minutes about the questions only. Sorry. Thank you all. We are winding up this call. Have a nice evening. Venkat will close this call.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.